Hey guys, welcome to Atheist Edge. We're here at Solstice Party 2018 for Metroplex Atheists. I am here with a very special guest today. We're going to do a religion trivia. To my right here is Mr. Matt Dillahunty.
I'm glad I'm not the one offering answers today.
No.
Matt doesn't know a damn thing.
No, actually, he probably knows more about this stuff than I do. Jim's usually the one that's good with these kinds of questions and stuff, and I'm kind of more of the skeptic. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and you guys know our format. We're gonna jump back and forth. I'll read one and we'll read some answers, or some possible answers via multiple choice, and then I'll hand it over to Matt. He'll do the next one, and so on and so forth. All right, so let's jump right into these questions, guys. So, number one, founded in 1966, the Church of Satan's official doctrine rests on the belief and worship of Satan. Is that true or false? So, I mean, is this? I don't know if that's the same thing as the Satanic Temple, though. That's not the same thing, right?
That might be the trick part of the question.
Okay.
So Satanism falls into a number of different categories. There's LaVeyan Satanism, etc. And I actually did a debate not too long ago outside of Ohio with a Satanist who was going to argue that religion was a good thing on behalf of his religious view. Mm-hmm. And before we even got partway through cross-examination, he'd already changed his mind and agreed with me. So we went on to take questions from the audience.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite debates because you saw someone say, okay, I'm going to change my mind. You convinced me in the short time. And that really happens.
Yeah, I don't think it probably happens as much as I'd like to see, because sometimes I see people making some really compelling arguments in conversations, and the other person seems to stonewall a lot, and they don't want to feel like they're giving ground or something like that. That kind of irks me sometimes when I see man, that guy really nailed that, but the other guy's just kind of acting like it didn't even happen. You know what I'm saying?
It's sometimes there's a lot of talking past. For this question though, maybe it's a trick question. Maybe you should think about whether it's Church of Satan, whether it's LaVeyan Satanism, whether it's the Satanic Temple.
Right.
But your options are true or false.
Yeah.
And I got this one right. So I'm not going to tell you, but I got this one right.
That's right. Do they worship Satan, true or false?
Number two, the selling of indulgences during the Middle Ages was a particularly underhanded way for the Catholic Church to raise money. What are indulgences? Your possible answers are A, blessings, B, tickets to heaven, C, pardons, D, investments.
Actually, a couple of those I'm kind of the opinion that it's a little ambiguous as to a couple of these. I'm wondering if it was the actual. I don't want to say what I think of that particular part of it because it might give away the answer. But it's really, did they really say that you could just buy? They thought there were people that thought that they could just buy their way into some kind of paradise or something.
Oh, you're trying to sell them on an answer?
I'm trying to know. Well, I'm trying to think of it as it kind of makes sense that they would think of that way. But I'm
there's a lot of curious things like this, and without giving away which of those
that's
answers,
why I was trying not to be.
Which of those answers are correct? It's not just the Catholic Church that's done things like this. There are Mormons who have prayed to get people to heaven even after they're dead, or prayed for relatives who were never Mormons and things like that.
Okay.
So maybe that's some kind of a ticket to heaven. Maybe it's kind of a pardon. Maybe it's a blessing.
Is that some sort of okay? So that's a real thing that they posthumously induct people into the church?
Yes, and there were some atheists who turned it into a joke that we were going to posthumously, or we were going to deconvert.
Okay.
What's his name? The Mormon politician ran for president.
Romney after he died or whatever?
We were going to posthumously deconvert Mitt Romney. Have a de-baptism. We're going to pull you right out of the Mormon church.
Mind-blowing. All right, so let's move on to number three. Number three, Eve was not the first female. Genesis 1, verse 27, Isaiah 34, verse 14, and the extra-biblical alphabet of Ben Sira tell of blank as the first female created, who was originally cast out of Eden for refusing to submit to Adam. Your choices for this question are A, was it Lilith? B, Hagar? Was it C, Sarai? Or D, Rachel?
So this question is fundamentally flawed, and I actually have a video in the queue about this specific person.
Okay.
And it's good that you included the extra biblical sources because they're not mentioned by name in the Bible.
Right.
And it's a matter of interpretation as to whether or not that verse in Genesis or the verse in Isaiah actually apply to the individual we're referencing.
Right.
It's kind of like, if you go back and read Genesis, it's a serpent, a talking serpent.
Right.
But we kind of retcon that to be Satan based on interpretations of others. Nowhere in Genesis does it say that the serpent was Satan.
No.
But that's generally the view. Where else are you going to get a talking serpent that's trying to lead people away?
Right.
And so what people have done is they've taken an extra biblical source that describes the person whose name is the answer, and then we go back and look at that passage in Genesis and Isaiah, and people are like, oh, this is who it's actually talking about. And I'm not convinced that the case is good enough, but you should still be able to pick out the answer there.
Yeah, I think there's one that probably comes to most people's minds when you think about that kind of a thing. So, but all right, I'm going to let you go ahead and let us.
Number 4, the creativity movement, formerly the Church of the Creator, was founded on blank as their most important tenet. And I'll tell you right now, before reading the answers, I don't know what the answer is. Human origin via panspermia is A. B, continuance of the white race. C, abhorrence of technology. D, ingestion of the peyote cactus. Sorry, I ran around the corner of the page.
D kind of sounds kind of fun, if you ask me.
So I'll read it again. The creativity movement, formerly the Church of the Creator, was founded on blank as their most important tenet. Was it A, human origin via panspermia, B, continuance of the white race, C, abhorrence of technology, or D, ingestion of the peyote cactus?
Panspermia.
I would have gotten this wrong.
I don't even know what that is. What is panspermia?
Panspermia is the notion that the origin of life began somewhere else in the universe and was accidentally or intentionally
alien
planted here.
seeding of
could be aliens, but it also could be a meteor that has organic molecules, crashes into Earth, and that kicks it off.
Okay.
And really, it only pushes the question back one step, which is, okay, how did the organic molecules get on?
Right. Yeah. How did that life come about? Yeah.
That's a problem. But those are cool options for the answers.
Yeah. A couple
I wonder
of them
how many people
cool.
are going to get that one right.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to move on to number 5.
Numero 5.
Numero 5. Cinco. Many Islamic cultures forbid a male to be alone with a male who is not a family member. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that.
I was like, that's not
Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, because men can pretty much do anything they want in that culture. Many Islamic cultures forbid a female to be alone with a male who is not a family member. Dr. Izzat Atiya proposed this loophole, however. Wow, this ought to be good. So your options for this question are A, electronic surveillance of the female via body cams or dash cams. B, a formal temporary adoption of the female. C, allowing the male to breastfeed the female to establish a family bond. Or D, none of these. Dr. Atiya proclaimed that there are no exceptions or loopholes in the law. Now, I know probably the least about Islam that I do about any religion.
I would have gotten this one wrong too. And
yeah, I know. I definitely would have, because one of these sounds like...
So you want to allow a woman... all right, if you look at the answers, you want to allow a woman to be alone with a man unless he's a close relative, unless she's wearing a body cam. I don't know when this guy said this and whether or not that apply. That might be the right answer, it might not. You won't let her be alone with a man unless there's a formal temporary adoption. This was described as a loophole. I guess that would be a loophole.
Yeah.
But I don't know what temporary adoption is. That to me just sounds like, let's pretend like we're related.
Well, that kind of sounds to me like what I've heard sometimes in their cultures for their prostitution. They will get temporary marriages,
but
to permit the fornication or whatever. That seems weird to me.
Allowing the male to, and breastfeed is in quotes.
Yeah.
Because clearly, while my man boobs are in decline, they're never going to breastfeed anybody.
Probably not, yeah.
Or none of these, which I don't know which one I would have gone with, not having seen all the answers.
Yeah, sight unseen.
Wow.
Yeah, all right.
It's funny though, because if you only allow the women to be around close family members, isn't that going to increase the prevalence of incest?
Yeah, right?
I can only go on dates with my brother. Eventually something's going to happen.
Yeah, that seems a little weird and twisted.
All right, number 6. Which country removed 4 children from their parents for, quote, creating a disability in the children by teaching them that God punishes sin? So there's a country that took 4 kids away from their parents because their parents basically taught them God punishes sin, and they considered that giving the kids a disability. And the options are A, Norway, B, Japan, C, the Netherlands, and D, Russia. And this one I knew.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think I've ever heard of that.
I remember
I've never
hearing a
even
news story about it.
Wow.
Although those are four good choices where you could go with any one of them.
Right. Yeah, because you have a couple, or at least three of these that I can see that are kind of like very, they're kind of godless in their culture a lot, by and large.
You have four largely godless cultures, and
Oh,
some
even
that
Russia?
have been imposed it. Well, Russia under. So this is a good time to correct something.
Okay.
Because people will often talk about the godless Russians and how they made Christianity illegal and they made religion illegal. And that is the case to some extent. But none of us here, and I'll speak for everybody here, want to outlaw religion. We just want people to give it up for good reasons.
Yeah.
And anybody who disagrees with that's just wrong anyway.
Right. So. Yeah. All right. So we'll go on to number 7. Because somebody has a magic show to perform in a few minutes.
After dinner, yeah.
After dinner, yeah. All right. So number 7.
When everybody's groggy and confused.
Yeah, that's right. When we're all nice and pliable. Yeah.
How did he do that?
So number 7. A commonly held notion of theists is that if the Earth were 10 feet closer to the sun, we would burn up. And if it were 10 feet farther away, we would freeze. Our habitable zone is actually, and here are your possible answers, A, 59,000 miles, B, 239,000 miles, C, 12 million miles, or D, 39 million miles.
I would not have known this off the top of my head, but when we got halfway through the question, the reason I laughed is because the Earth doesn't maintain a constant distance from the sun anyway. It's got an elliptical
There's a
orbit
perihelion and all that stuff.
Much greater than 10 feet.
Exactly.
So the notion that we were limited to just 10 feet, don't jump too high.
Not only that, when we're at our perihelion, which is the point in our trek around the sun where we're closest, that's wintertime for the northern hemisphere.
Yep.
Like, how do you explain that, Theus? Like,
go for it. Anyway, so yeah, it's either 59,000 miles, 239,000 miles, 12 million miles, or 39
million miles. All right.
Sort through it.
Alrighty.
All right, number 8. On the road to Damascus, Paul experienced a flashing bright light, auditory hallucinations, 3 days of blindness, temporary paralysis. Which of these best explains his condition? A, schizophrenia. B, grand mal seizure. C, personal divine revelation. D, hyperthermic stroke.
It was good enough for him to have it. Where's mine? You know what I'm saying? Where's my experience?
I got this wrong. And I would imagine there's a lot of people who are going to get it wrong.
Yeah, I didn't know it before actually reading Jim's book.
Can we just go ahead and tell him that C, personal divine revelation, not the right
Probably
answer.
not the right answer because
less plausible than natural explanations.
Yeah.
Certainly would need more evidence to get to C.
Yeah.
So for all of you who are just going to Charlie out on the test and just go C, you'll get this one wrong.
And not only that,
my helpful hint.
Not only that, if that was his revelation, what good does it do me?
It doesn't do any good. Even if it was a fact, yeah. And it was the other day I did a video about deathbed conversions. At the end, I pointed out if you ever hear I had a deathbed conversion, your response should be, "I don't care."
I don't care. Yeah.
Why should anybody care that I became addled or changed my mind? If I change my mind and there's a good reason behind it, I'm making a video to get that shit out.
All right, so we're going to have to hurry up on these last two. We'll go to number 9. Why does the Christ Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church in Jacksonville, Florida, not allow children at their services? Is it A, the pastor is a registered sex offender? B, the church teaches that children start out demonic? C, the pastor is an outspoken pedophile? Or D, the church is located in a casino? All right.
All of those would actually be really good reasons.
Yeah, that's actually a good reason. So, okay, good. All right, guys, here we are, ground zero. We're actually now in the party room. We've changed the scenery a little bit, so we're going to take this one last question and make it be a special one for Matt, his farewell question for the trivia, and I'm going to allow Matt to take it away.
We've spared no expense, too. There's a refrigerator and everything
we got
in
stuff,
here.
Man.
All right, number 10. The Unholy Trinity consists of Matt Dillahunty, hey, that's me, Aron Ra, and blank. And your options are A, Hemet Mehta, B, Anthony Magnabosco, C, Seth Andrews, D, David Smalley.
Did you get that one right, Matt?
I absolutely
Did you know that
got
one?
this one right.
Okay. This guy should know that one, right?
Yeah.
Close personal friend of yours too, I might add, right?
I'm going to go see him tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
When we're done here in Dallas, tomorrow I head up to Tulsa.
So we're gonna
Shoot, I just gave away the answer.
Oh no! Well, I think only if they know where he lives. Right?
All right.
Well, hopefully they don't. You guys don't know where.
As far as you're concerned, Anthony, Hammett, Seth, and David all live in Tulsa.
Oh wow! Okay. All right. So with that is the conclusion. That is our 10th and final question. As always, remember to leave your guesses in the comment section. The winners get a shout out in quiz number 25. Like, subscribe, share, and bang that bell. And we've been Atheist Edge. One last thing I'm going to get to, though. I want to ask Matt, just very briefly, how people can contact anything or get in touch with him or get involved or support things that he's doing right now. And you can let everybody know that what you got going on right now and how they can be a part.
Yeah, it turns out if you Google Austin Atheist, I'm like the first thing that pops up.
Okay.
Which is easier than my name for some people.
Oh.
MattDillahunty.com is still good for now, although we're transitioning because Pangburn owned it and I'm getting it back at some point. But yeah, I've got, if you Google Matt Dillahunty, Google Austin Atheist, you will find my Patreon project where I put 3 or 4 videos out a month talking about debates and kind of the arguments and how to have them and looking at them from a different direction sometime, as well as the debates I do, which that'll lead to the YouTube channel and then the Atheist Experience and whatever other shows I'm on. And
good.
It doesn't matter, you know,
Awesome.
just Google Atheist stuff, you'll find me. And there's no reason to find me unless you really want to.
Matt Dillahunty, man about town. Thank you for your time, sir.
Absolutely.
It was appreciated, and it was a pleasure having you on.
Loved it.
Bye, guys.
Atheist Edge.
What if I accidentally answer one?
Or did it
We
twice
edit.
in one. You either edit or just that's your gimme.
Yeah.
You get a freebie.
We edit, so it's fine.
I'll just straight up say I don't know or I know.
Walking the edge of what some consider offensive. But your feelings don't matter here. Only facts.
All right, so we're rolling now?
Blah, 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 blah.
Right, bobbity. Yeah, a little phlegm in my
What did you
throat.
say before you chose?
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
Edgy commentary on the dangers of doctrine, the foibles of faith, the bullshit of belief, the stupidity of superstition, and the idiocy of indoctrination.
On the road to Damascus, Paul experienced, are these the answers on the side here?
How
Wait.
did you do number 8, man?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Received a bright. So these are the answers. So just kind of like.
No, those aren't the answers. That's still part of the question.
Oh, is it?
With razor-sharp wit, curiosity, and critical thought, we take an unblinking look at today's religions.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
He's enumerating. He's enumerating
which of these?
the
I got it.
phenomenon. Yeah.
So here, let me give you a bar where you can edit.
We are Atheist Edge.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
Right.